Alright, so some of the other things I like to start a class off with, besides clearing the space. I usually start from the ground up, but I'm kind of cold, so we're going to start, where I need the heat. My hands together, and just start to rotate my wrists around, warming that up. So just slowly you're creating this circle, almost like a figure eight. But then it becomes just this wrist movement that you can kind of just loosen everything up with. So after the initial wrist movement, warming up the gongs. Believe it or not, I feel like this is one of the movements that got lost in the Yang Gong when we learned it. You know how we have the one that's just kind of the inside and the outside is two? Doesn't really make sense. But I always attributed this as one of the first ones to make the knees opening up the joints just one, because it just felt wrong. So it always circling the hips around. Ankles. Of course, there is an infinite number of ways you can warm up. These are just kind of what I use, and they help to get the joints mobile. These are kind of the things that people have the biggest issues with. And then help prepare for Tai Chi Bu. Feet together, bend your knees. One comes out, hands in the hips. Begin to sink down, sticking that butt out. And depending on their mobility, maybe this is as far as they go, because this can be rather intense, as we know. They can go down at some point. Always make sure they don't come right out of it though. You always want to just, from here, push that toe down and come up, so you're not just jerking the joints around as they begin to warm up. Other side. And so if people say they aren't getting anything out of this, they're not doing it right. You gotta sink your hips. Step. As important with all things in Tai Chi, you want to move slow and with the breath. So if the breath is quick, move quicker. Breath is slow, slower. So, you go into a stance called Ding Bu, more or less at a 45. Bend your knee, you inhale up, clench your foot. Now as this foot comes forward and you transfer your weight forward, you're also going to transfer your breath out through your palms, exhaling. Coming around, circling the wrist, starting from the core, right? Inhaling in. Be faster. to be slower. Go left, right, up, down. Some of the things to keep in mind as I mess this up. As you step, you transfer your weight, you push, you inhale, you pull, and you push. Bring up. One, two, three. One, two, three. So there's also a couple different variations on this. This may in fact be my own form of Taiji-Bu that I teach students as they're going through learning to just flow through the pattern and learning to transfer their weight and do different sorts of stuff. I believe the actual way I learned this originally was without the turning of the palm. So it would be push, back, receding, kind of like push hands, and give. Coming up, push, receive, give. 1, 2, 3, and up. Another thing I found useful for students was wave hands like clouds, right? Remember this? Having them practice this motion. There's something that can easily be practiced with a partner, especially one that already knows what they're doing. So if you were to do this, you know, you have your students doing cloud hands with or without the fingers, right? And have that weight kind of come in, but this is where you can actually put your hands on the inside of their wrist and guide them through the movement using your heavy elbow theory to kind of stop the arms from going out like this sort of stuff. You always want to keep your elbows down, right? This is actually, so you want to keep your stuff down.